Good morning, everyone. This is Coach Sybil Kearse, and we are here with the Breakthrough Zone. And today is the morning, Monday morning mindset live training, live coaching session that we're having today. And I'm super excited to be here. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. We're approaching the new year, which means there's some loose ends of this year we may need to tie up. There's some things that we may need to look at, not to bring into the new year with us, okay? So haven't gotten over the holiday season, haven't gotten over everything we had to do. Me personally, I had to work. I was with my wonderful coworkers. We made the best out of the situation, considering we couldn't be home with our loved ones. But nonetheless, you make the best out of wherever you are. Okay, that's a lesson that you should definitely want to learn. Make the best out of it wherever you are, because things are not always going to go as planned. They're not always going to go the way we want them to. But at the end of the day, we can make the best out of anywhere we are. And that's what we chose to do. So I was grateful that I was able to share the holiday season with people I consider family, my work family. Nonetheless, here we are Monday morning. This is our last week in this year. This is the last stretch of this year. So now it is time to focus on what we're going to do differently next year, okay, than we did this year. Some of you may even be considering the fact that, I need to make some New Year's resolutions. I know that's traditional. Me personally, I used to do the resolutions thing, but you know what? I didn't ever make it to February with it. So I no longer do resolutions. I do mindset changes. And that's what we really have to understand. Anything you commit yourself to starts up here. Okay. You're going to hear me say that often, many times throughout any of these sessions that I provide to you. Okay. And the reason why that is because you can say it all day, but your behaviors is what's going to determine the outcome. It's going to determine what you're committed to do. Your behaviors is basically saying, this is what I'm going to do. Saying it is one thing. Talking about it is one thing. But are you going to walk like it? Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? That means you want to take appropriate action. And it's going to start here. You have to make up your mind that you're going to do that. Okay? There's no doubt about it. There's no other way to do it. People can encourage you. People can tell you that they can motivate you. Motivation starts up here. Nobody can really motivate you. Okay. Yes, we have motivational speakers. Yes, we have people that say they can motivate you. But no matter what they do, if you haven't made up your mind to say, I do, you won't. You won't. If you haven't made up in your mind that you want to do something, whatever it may be, then you won't do it. It's just that plain and simple. Okay. So today's topic is something that I thought was fitting, considering that we are embarking on the very last week of this year. Guys, I don't know what 2022 is going to bring, but can you agree with me that 2021, it was a roller coaster for some of us. We had a lot of ups and downs, and even with everything we dealt with within the pandemic and still are dealing with, it's still some things that, some people are looking for some sort of normalcy, when in fact, I don't know if we'll ever get back to the way things were. And maybe that's a good thing. But as it pertains to you, within yourself, what is it that you're holding on to that's stopping you from moving forward? Let's think about that. Okay? And it doesn't matter what it is or how many things there are. What you have to understand, that there's something in your mind that's telling you, I need to hold on to this thing right here. The problem is, if whatever you're holding on to is not propelling you to your future, it's not conducive to your journey, it's not helping you grow, it's not actually in alignment with your vision or your dream, then what you are technically doing is staying stuck in a situation that you don't belong in. You've attached yourself to something that's keeping you somewhere that you should be moving from. Okay. And that's why I thought it was befitting to have this conversation with you guys today, because we all have been there. We hold on to things. We attach ourselves to things. It's almost human nature, but letting go is not. We become possessed with certain things. We feel like it's ours and we don't want to let it go. From a pair of shoes, some clothing that we no longer can fit. Okay. There's some things that we hold on to that are materialistic. There's some things that we hold on to that are emotional. Excuse me, guys. There's some things that we we cause ourselves to become attached to. The problem is it was not designed to keep us on track. It was designed to keep us still. And guys, that's not what we need to do. We are moving into a new year, whether you want to or not. Okay? The sun is going to come up tomorrow, whether you want it to or not. So why would you be the thing that you feel need to be staying still when everything else is moving forward? Time stops for no one. Okay, so with that being said, let's try to evaluate. I don't need to know what it is you're holding on to. That's not what we need to talk about. That's for you to decipher within yourself. What we need to talk about is, why do you feel you need to hold on to it? You got to determine, is that the thing that you need to hold on to, or is that the thing that you need to let go? Okay? And this is not only applicable to people, though it can include people. Sometimes we're holding on to certain relationships that we weren't designed to keep a hold on to. Sometimes we have to even let people go. All right? And that's difficult for some people. I get it. But at the end of the day, we're here to talk about you. All right? We're here to talk about how you can progressively get to a better place where you're trying to go, because you have your own goals. You have your own dreams. You have your own desires. You know where you want to be. Now, if you're completely content with where you are right now, by all means, feel free. But there's something that tells me that you are not content with where you are. There's something more that you feel you are aiming towards, or you're striving towards. There's something more than just this. And with that being your catalyst for wanting to get to the next stage of your life, the next level, then that means you have to be real with yourself. I can't be real with you about your situation. You need to be real with yourself. And that's what this conversation is gonna be focused on. We got to keep it real with ourselves. No, it's time out for playing this replay of what used to be. I have conversations with people, and they're in their 50s, and they're still reminiscing about high school days when they were, having a moment of being popular, or a moment of having good things happen. I'm not saying you should discredit that. It was a part of who you were, but the fact of the matter is you can never go back to that person. So how can you be great at 50 years old instead of wondering how you could reminisce on being the 18-year-old you that you used to be, right? So we can't just not appreciate the growth and the maturity that has happened. And it doesn't mean that even though I may have been great in high school, I may have been great in sports, I was good on the band, I was doing this and I was doing that. Wonderful. We applaud you. But as of today, are you just holding on to those memories, or are you willing to make new ones where you can be just as great as your current self as you used to be, if not better, right? So that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to move towards, because, guys, if we keep staying stuck on a replay, we won't never get anywhere. And it's time out for that. It's time out for that, okay? So let's talk about basically what is learning to let go of something, especially things you can't control. Okay, that's like the subtopic. Letting go of those things you cannot control. Okay, the art of letting go is imperative. So basically, you got to realize that sometimes we hang on to things. Sometimes things have to be forcibly taken away, but mentally we still hold on to certain things, and emotionally we hold on to things, and we don't even realize it half the time. All right, but holding on to things that we can't control, it can cause a lot of stress, unhappiness. It keeps you stuck in a certain pattern or a certain past. It keeps you from growing. It keeps you from living life freely. It keeps you in a place of unhappiness. Like, that's why it's important. You got to let it go. Think about it. How many times have you thought about the last person that hurt you? You relive that moment. You keep hurting yourself again and again and again with the same memory, and you don't move past it. You're holding on to it, and it's not helping you, because you end up hurting yourself on the inside. You're becoming bitter instead of better. You are not able to grow past it. And guess what? The person that probably hurt you, they're probably living their best life. You're losing sleep and they're sleeping good. That is not conducive to your overall mental health and your inner growth at all. Okay? So sometimes we do it and we don't realize it because we didn't get the justification we felt we should have received, right? We didn't get them back. We didn't get the apology. We didn't get it. So now we're holding on to it because we're kind of waiting for some resolve. But the truth of the matter is, whether you want to admit it or not, you have the control to let it go. You have the control to just forgive them, accept the apology you didn't receive. You don't have to get it from them. Guess what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it go. Because the more I hold on to something, I'm holding on to this pen. Y'all see this pen, right? I'm holding on to this pen and I'm holding on to this pen and I'm holding on to this pen. But then there's something else that needs to get in my hand. How can I get it if I'm still holding on to this? I gotta let it go so I could take hold of something else, bigger and better and more efficient. You got the power to let it go. And we're going to talk about some practical steps that will help you. But first, we have to establish and acknowledge that you are holding on to something that's keeping you in a holding pattern. All right? So, what does it really mean to let go? Like I said, we have to first acknowledge that you are attached to something mentally, an emotional fixation on something, something that you think you need, something that you think you want. We get attached to people. We get attached to points of views. We get attached to outcomes, material possessions. I mean, you name it. We can attach ourselves to many, many things. For example, we can be somebody who just got a car, a new vehicle. Vehicle works fine. We're able to afford it. It gets us to and fro, right? But it may not be that luxury vehicle that we so desire. And so every time we see someone else in that luxury vehicle, we tend to look at our vehicle as if it was not worth much. But the truth of the matter is, holding on to that desire for that other materialistic thing is preventing you from appreciating what you have. Okay? We get attached to certain things. Sometimes it's things we don't even have. It's just what we want or what we think we need. And sometimes we even believe we cannot survive without it. Okay? Many of us confuse this type of emotional gratification with happiness, but it's not. They're not the same. Okay? True happiness comes from the freedom of being able to live your blessed life. I didn't say your best life, your blessed life. The freedom to be truly you. The freedom to be happy in the skin that you're in. The freedom to know that I don't need anybody else's approval to be me. That I don't need someone else to co-sign on things that I know I'm supposed to do. That freedom is your happiness. But when you confine yourself to those emotional attachments, you're truly not happy. You're trying to be gratified. Again, they're not the same. All right. So realizing what is it that you have an emotional or mental attachment to. All right. I've thrown out some examples, but the list can be vast. It can be endless. Okay. It could be holding on to, like I said, an old pair of jeans that we said one day we're going to fit back into it. I'm not going to throw them away because I know I'm going to lose this weight and I'm going to get back into them. It may be holding on to a relationship that you used to have. And maybe that person broke your heart and they moved on. And now they're living this lavish life with somebody else when you was waiting for them to get mature enough to live that life with you. It could be holding on to a promotion that you didn't get but somebody else got. And you're feeling disgruntled because you feel like you were supposed to get it. It could be a number of things that we are holding on to. But whatever it is it holding you back? Is the question. Okay, so letting go means that you release that fixation on whatever it is you feel you want or you need. You release it. Okay, you don't have to lose it in a sense where you completely forget it, because part of our experiences make up who we are and our natural design. But you have to release that fixation on it. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is your life. I believe we only get one life this time on this side. You know, I'm not talking about someone who may have been revived from of some type of life sustaining efforts. I'm just saying, in general, we have this one life and we get this one chance to be everything that we can be, to be our most authentic and best version of ourselves. And sometimes these things hinder us from doing that. It limits us. And that's why I want to talk about letting it go. So let's talk about, why is letting go so hard? It's a lot of reasons. We don't have enough time to go over all of them. But sometimes if fear is a big one that makes it hard to let go of something. We're afraid of what will happen to us if we lose something, or if we feel like something we're depending upon no longer becomes that thing for us to depend on. We feel like it would we fear losing our happiness that we think is causing us to feel happy by being attached to those things. We're afraid to see something different. We're afraid of change. You know, we like to make sure that everything is going to flow the way it should. You know, we want to make sure that things are going to continue in the way it's going. And so fear is one of the reasons why it's so hard to let go of some things. Okay? Holding on to a habit, cigarette smokers, overeating, different things. We fear the change that we will have to lose something before we can gain it. But it's necessary. You want to not have to deal with the potential threat of lung cancer, you may have to quit smoking. But I used to smoke, so I know what I'm talking about. You'll have your cigarette and you're saying, you know what, this is my last cigarette. Some of you're gonna agree with me. This is my last cigarette. I'm not gonna buy another pack. I'm not gonna go to the store. I'm gonna throw away all my lighters and ashtrays. Come on, somebody, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Okay? And then when you get to that last one, something on the inside of you is like, oh crap, I ain't got no more cigarettes. All right. And then there's this nagging sense of, I have to go to the store to get the cigarette. And then you're like, no, I'm supposed to quit. So you have this inner battle. But that fear of not having that next cigarette is what's triggering you to go buy another one. You have to release that fixation on it. Okay. Another reason letting go is so hard is because of our self-identity is associated with those things. All right. So as I spoke about a relationship earlier, sometimes our association with a person, we feel we've identified ourselves based off that relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, co-worker relationship, whatever it is, just that type of relationship, it gave us some type of an identity to be associated with this individual. So the fear of not knowing who you're going to be, especially if you were in a long-term relationship and suddenly you're talking about parting, there's going to be some fear factors you're going to have to deal with. Who am I without this person? Who am I going to be? I mean, for so long, they were a part of my world, my decision-making, my everything. Who am I without them? That fear causes us not to want to let go. Okay, so that's just a few things that I'm bringing up to let you think about. What is it that you what is it that won't allow you to let go of those things you identified? Okay, those things you identified that you're attached to, that is not propelling you, it's not pushing you. You're standing still waiting for it to develop into something that it hasn't happened yet, right? There's also a thing called the illusion of control, right? So as we tend to become attached to certain things, the illusion of control is evident. So basically, we often believe that if we get all the materialistic things and circumstances just right, that we're just going to be so happy. So we try to manipulate things and people and circumstances to try to get them to the way that we want them to be. But the problem with this is that form of thinking is not healthy, okay? Because nothing ever stays the same. All right, nothing ever stays the same. And if we haven't learned anything else in the pandemic, that's one thing we should know, because nothing that we do today is like we did 2 or 3 years ago. All right, so we get attached to certain things we like, and then we expect them to remain that way with this illusion of control. We think we have control over that, and we don't. And this always leads to disappointment. I mean, even as a married couple, you got married 10 years ago. You have to understand that you are not the same people 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? So the expectation for something to remain the same is going to disappoint you, because it will change. Okay, so in reality, the only thing that we have some control over is ourselves. All right, we can't control others, we can't control things, we can't control what happened in the past. We can control what we do now to pretty much change the trajectory of where we're going in the future. So what are some of the benefits of letting go? Because you get your freedom. Do you know how priceless it is to just be free to be you? I mean, we deal with insecurities, we deal with doubt, self doubt, we deal with obstacles, we deal with a whole lot of things that hinder us. So now, on top of those things we have to battle, are we going to add the fact that we're holding on to something that is not designed for us to hold on to? You have to want to be free. You have to want to be liberated. You have to want to be comfortable in knowing that I can be me. In all my imperfections, flaws, and all, I still can be me. And I don't need anyone's permission. Listen, you want to be free? Then listen to what I'm telling you. Something is keeping you from being truly free. And whatever those things are, or whoever it may be, are you willing to sacrifice your happiness, your future, your freedom for the sake of it or them? You have to decide. I got to start being concerned with me and my freedom. There's nothing like being free. There's nothing like being free to make as much money as you want to make. Being comfortable where you are, not having to wait on anybody to cause you any grief or happiness. You are in control of that. That's being free within yourself. Okay? And that's definitely one of the benefits of letting go. All right? No longer will we hang on to things such as unhealthy relationships, old visions of who we used to be. We can't hold on to those things anymore. Because if we held on to it this long, and if you cannot pinpoint at what point it made you a better individual to hold on to it, it's one of those things you need to let go. So you have to get a piece of paper, something to write with, and you're going to have to be real with yourself. And you got to identify some things that's holding you back. And it's going to be difficult because for so long, you didn't realize that was a thing holding you back because you're holding on to it, or them, or a person, or whatever it is. You're going to have to get real with yourself. And you're going to have to identify these things. The question that should be lingering is this thing that I'm fixated on helping me reach my goal? Or is it hindering me from reaching my goal? All right? Another benefit to letting go is that you will be able to have the freedom to form better relationships. You'll be able to not be so concerned about those that you are involved with now. Because whether you realize it or not, they somewhat define you. But when you let go of certain people, it doesn't mean that you're leaving them per se. You just allow them to be who they want to be, and then you're able to be who you want to be. But the more you try to get other people to conform to your idea of who they are, the more you're trying to conform to being the person you want them to have. Okay? So it's up to you to love people for who they are so they can love you for who you are. And sometimes that means I got to love you from a distance, and that's all right. Okay, that's all right. But when you start to remove the extras, it makes room for more. Let's use Facebook for an example. Sometimes Facebook, depending on the interactions you have, they call it an algorithm. You'll have thousands of friends, but only a few is actually helping you, or interacting with you, or commenting, or whatever, engaging with you, right? And so sometimes it's advisable to go back and delete some of the people that you're no longer interacting with, because it will open up your algorithm to reach out to those that you can potentially form some type of relationship with or network with. Okay. And people who do engagement training and stuff like that on social media, they tell you that because you have a lot of dead weight in these people. So for you to have thousands of people on your friends list, but you're only interacting with a percentage of them, decreasing the amount that you have will increase your percentage of being able to reach them. Okay. So it's similar to that. You got to let go of some of that dead weight of people. Stop waiting for them to come back and be your best friend. Stop waiting for them to come back and be your boyfriend or girlfriend. Stop waiting on them, because if they really was meant to be in your life, they would be. You don't have to beg anybody to love you. You don't have to beg anybody to be your friend. You should be able to be comfortable enough with who you are, to be free enough to be who you are, to say, listen, with or without you, I'm still me. Before you, I was blessed. After you, I still will be. So we got to be willing to let go. We got to be willing to say, it's just not the time. It's just not our time. And that's cool. I may catch you again on the next go round. But right now, I need to free up some space for some new networking, some new fellowship, some new people to come in, because I'm trying to get somewhere. And I'm not going to stay stuck waiting on you here. Okay? So you will be able to form better relationships in the event that you take on this benefit of letting go of some things and people. Another benefit is you'll have continued personal growth. Like, that is just phenomenal. The point in everything that I do is to help people grow, to help people see the best version of themselves. Because the more you see the best in you, the more you see the best happening around you, okay? And you continue to grow, the more you let go of certain things. When things are holding you back, it's also weighing you down. How can you grow if you're constantly constricted in something? Letting stuff go helps you grow. You'll feel so free and able to just truly appreciate you for who you are. You cannot grow emotionally, mentally, if you are constantly holding on to something that is not making you happy. Okay? Even if you think you're waiting for it to, you're unhappy while you're waiting for it to make you happy. Does that make sense? If you keep holding on to things around you, you're going to remain stuck in the past. Meanwhile, everything's changing and moving forward, and you're still there. And you're going to look around one day, and all of your colleagues or all of your friends and all of the people that you once was elbow with is way over there doing something else. And you're going to wake up and say, man, what did I do with my life? Why didn't I keep up with them? Because you chose to stay stuck, holding on to something that wasn't helping you get where they're going. Okay? So, as you learn to let go, your self-esteem, self-confidence, it will grow. When you realize that you won't die from letting certain things go or letting certain people go that you thought you needed, you're going to pursue the things that are healthier for you. It's almost going to be like a natural instinct. Okay? So, just to recap, we understand that we form attachments to things. Sometimes it's materialistic. Sometimes it's points of views. Sometimes it's biases. Sometimes it's people. Whatever it is, we attach ourselves to it. We have this illusion of control that whatever we're attached to will never change, which is a lie. Then we don't realize that while we're waiting for this thing to make us happy, we're truly getting disappointed because it's not living up to our expectations. And we are remaining stuck trying to hold on and wait for something that is not actually meant for us to wait on. It's almost like I lived in the city growing up. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have what we call public transportation. So that means we have buses and trains, okay? And if you live in an area that has those types of means of transportation, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So it's kind of like sitting at the bus stop waiting to go home, but you're at the wrong bus stop. Or worse, you're at a bus stop that's no longer active. And you keep waiting for this ride to come, and it never comes. And every time you see the headlights of what appears to be that means of transportation, and it passes you by, or it goes another way, you then become disappointed. It's like doing that when you're holding on to something you're not meant to hold on to, okay? I'm praying that this is really meaningful to you. I'm praying that this is resonating in you, because this is imperative as we approach 2022. Understand that letting go is going to be beneficial to you. Your confidence will be boosted. You'll have better relationships. Trust me, I know. You'll be more able to form these networks, to improve your social skills, to improve who you are, learning new things. You will get ideas on new things, and things will begin to open up for you. Listen, you cannot open new doors with old keys. I've never seen it done. The longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. It's time to let go for 2022. Okay? And that's what we're going to strive to do. So, let's talk about some practical ways as we wrap this up. Listen, over Christmas, I'm going off topic. I don't know where I got the sniffles from. It's not COVID related, but so I'm battling this thing, but I refuse to not be here. I made a commitment to be here, and if I got to keep sniffling, that's what I'm going to keep doing, but I'm going to get this across to you because it's important to me to help you, okay? So just ignore the every few moments of this and just listen to what I'm saying, all right? We're about to wrap it up. So I'm going to give you about 5 tips that I think will help you to let go, knowing the art of letting go. It's not as difficult as you may think, but it does take some courage, commitment, and determination, okay? So, number 1, this is huge. We got to stop blaming other people for our stuff. We do it more than we think. It's not other people's fault we have endured some misfortunes. It's not someone else's fault who made something of their life that you didn't, okay? And it's not too late for you. And don't compare yourself to someone else and then blame them for you not being where you think you should be. Today is not the one day this will happen. No, today is day 1. You got to be willing to take the first step for yourself. It's nobody else's job to show up for you if you're not willing to show up for yourself. Stop blaming other people, okay? We cannot waste our lives waiting for someone to show up to help us. A lot of people do that. They're like, I can't do this because I need a partner, or I need this, or I need that. Baby, we were born alone. Guess what's going to happen when we die? We're going to die alone. So we can't wait to live our life. Sometimes some walks have to happen with just you, because it's going to build your strength. It's going to build your tenacity. It's going to build your character. Sometimes these things have to happen as you do it on your own. You can't wait for someone to always hold your hand, because then you're going to be reliant on them. And guess what? Sometimes people want to take the credit for that. They want to say you didn't get where you are if it was not for them. But how great would it be for you to say, I got here because of me. I fought. I persevered. I kept going, even on the days I didn't feel like it. You cannot blame other people for your failures if you refuse to give it a try yourself. It's not their fault. Okay? It's up to you to take responsibility for your own happiness, your own success, your own journey, your own dreams. It's your responsibility. Don't wait for others to fix you. Don't wait for them to act before you start living your life. Take it in your own hands and say, this is my fault that I didn't get to where I think I need to be. And it's not your fault as if you're saying to beat yourself up. No, it's my fault, but I want to change. Before someone can say, I can, they first must make up their mind that they will. All right? You got to make it up in your mind that no matter what, you're not going to let nobody stop you, hinder you, hold you back, because you have a goal that you're trying to reach. You have places you're trying to go. You have things you're trying to do. And sometimes you've got to be willing to do it by yourself, okay? And this is the opportunity for you to assess yourself. Who are you blaming for not being where you are or where you want to be? Who have you blamed? Is it your parents? Oh, they didn't give me money for college. That's why I didn't go. Well, guess what? You can still apply and go on your own. What's the next issue? Oh, so-and-so broke my heart. Well, guess what? If they're living their life, find a way to live yours. That's still no excuse for you not to go forward. Oh, I I wasn't able to get this job because they were discriminating against me. Guess what? It will not stop you from applying again. My point in case is stop blaming other people. Figure out how it is that you could work within yourself to still pursue that goal. It's more than one way to skin a cat. And it's time for you to say, I'm not going to allow this one no to hinder me from a lifetime of yeses. Because you never know when the next yes will be around the corner. But if you refuse to get up and do it, guess what? Blame yourself, because that no is the one you gave yourself because you didn't even try. Okay? Now you got to do this next step. You got to make a decision to let go. I mean, it sounds so simple, and really it almost is. But people say they want to change, but they don't put forth the right effort to do it. Working out, changing our physical form is one of the main things I could think this applies to. You got to be willing to let go of them fried foods. You're willing to let go of them sweets. Willing to let go of them sodas. Willing to let go of all that pasta and starches. Willing to let go of all that Thanksgiving food. Willing to let go of it and eat healthy. Right? We look in the mirror, we're dissatisfied when we see the extra rolls around the gut. Then we look on TV and we see these models with their flat stomachs and all this nice stuff that we think we want. But then we look in the mirror and we see a completely different figure looking back at us, right? But we think we can't be that model. We think we can't get to that goal. But you know what? We could. But we gotta make up our mind to let go of what's causing us to look the way we do now. How much of an effort have you put into losing weight? How many times did you commit to saying, okay, I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to get up out there and walk. I'm going to I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm not going to eat this and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut out sodas. But that one time when it was raining, you said, no, I'm not going to go today. Or that one time we go to somebody's house and all they have to drink is a soda. And instead of us having to say, no, I'll take a cup of water, we be like, oh, just this one time. We give half-hearted efforts to things that we don't want to let go of. But we give wholehearted efforts to hold on to it, knowing it's not helping us get to our, or helping us reach our goal. Okay? So that was one example how that could apply. But the point is, if you really want to make a change in your life, then you have to get serious about it. And it starts with the decision to do it. Before any changes can happen, what did I say when we first started? Happens up here. It happens up here. You got to make up your mind that by all and any means necessary, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to let go of what I need to let go of so I can take hold of something different, something better. Okay? You have to make up your mind that this is what you want to do. Detach yourself from those things that is not conducive to your growth and be willing to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be concerned if I hurt their feelings because I no longer want to hang out with them. I'm not going to be concerned if how they feel is not in alignment with what I want to do. Because if they don't understand your own personal growth, your desire for personal growth, then are they really conducive to your future? Maybe not. All right? Another thing that you can do is just trust that it'll be okay. Trust that it's going to be okay. Listen, how many things didn't work out in life and you're still here? How many things that you think was going to go one way ended up going a completely different way, and it's still okay? Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but you just got to trust that even if I don't eat this cake, even if I don't stay in this relationship, even if I decide to do A, X, Y, and Z, it's going to be okay. We hold on to things because we think we need those things to survive. That smoker I talked about thinks they need that cigarette to survive. They believe that if I just take this pull, it's going to make my stress go away. But the truth of the matter is, even if they didn't have the cigarette, they would be okay. Might be even better, right? So we got to remember that letting go is the release of our mental and emotional fixation on something. Okay? It's not a physical letting go. Sometimes we hold on to things that are already physically gone. If something is physically gone, it doesn't mean that it died. It's just no longer accessible to you, but we still holding on to that hurt and it's killing you. Let it go. Free yourself from it today. Make that decision for yourself. Trust that it's going to be okay. Whether you have a friend to lean on or not, you are going to be okay. Okay? If you have to start over, guess what? You're starting over with experience. Hello. So it'll be okay. And now I want to talk about learning the lesson and then moving on. With all the experiences that you can even encounter or remember in your life, it was either a blessing or a lesson. Learning that lesson from something, even if it was hurtful, disappointing, let it go once you learn it. Learn from it and let it go. Stick and move. Learn from it and let it go. Stick and move. Listen, don't stay stuck in something because you're still trying to learn the lesson. It taught you. You knew. You know now. And if you don't, you're going to learn it. And when you do, let it go and move on. It's time to learn some new things, okay? When you're having trouble of letting go, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Now, the answer may not be revealed to you immediately, but when it is, you'll be able to let it go. Because you have accepted the fact that that was a temporary situation that you took the meat from, throw away the bones, okay? Lastly, I want to talk about something you can do, which is meditating. Meditating is very helpful to me. Now, a lot of people, if you're just starting out, you may not be able to meditate. You may fall asleep. You know, it happens. Happened to me. Like I mentioned in my previous recording, I am a meditation instructor. Now, learning to meditate is something you have to learn to do. But once you get the art of it, once you learn and get some type of aid to help you meditate, it is very helpful because it helps you become centered and focused on who you are, where you are. What's causing these anxieties? What's causing these disappointments? What is it? And is it something that you can let go of? Is it something you can learn from? Is it something that you can close out? Is it something you can let go? And until you get centered with yourself, you may not necessarily know what those things are. But what I'm trying to tell you is, whatever it is, out of those 5 different tips I gave you that you choose to use, or you can use all of them, understand that they're designed to help you. But you have to first make the commitment here that I'm going to do everything I can to let go of this thing that's holding me back. Listen, 2022 is coming. Whether you move into it or not, make the choice today. Listen to your coach. Make the choice today that even if 2021 was filled with regrets and I wished and I shoulda, woulda, coulda, that today I'm going to make the effort to make it a better one. That I'm not going to sit here and wait for someone else to come and make my day. That I'm going to appreciate the fact that I got up with being who I am. That even though I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, and I'm definitely going where I'm going to be. So don't stay stuck. Let go of whatever it is. Let it go. Because a closed hand can't receive. A closed hand can't receive. And there's some things that is waiting for you to receive it. There's some things that's waiting for you to take hold of it, but you can't do it if your hands is already filled with things that you ain't supposed to be holding to. It's time to open your hands and release it. It's time to release it so that you can receive what is meant for you. There's some greater things coming for you. There's a lot of people talking about there's a shift in the atmosphere, and I know it, I feel it, I believe it to be true. Do not catch yourself on the wrong side of that shift because you're holding on to something that's keeping you back. Let's move forward. It's let's go or let go, baby. I'm going to say it again. It's let's go or let go. It's time to let go. Whatever it is. If them jeans don't fit you no more, throw them out and buy something that fits you and hug your stuff right. Make you look good and feel good until you get to where you want to be. Don't keep holding on to them jeans. Buy you some new ones. Don't keep holding on to them old shoes. Throw them out and buy you some new ones. Feel good for yourself. And don't do it for nobody else but you. And don't go out here trying to be somebody else. Be yourself. Be free to be you. And let go of those things that is holding you back to the old you. Okay? A lot of times when you're trying to improve yourself, people come back with the old you. Listen, tell them you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. You don't know who I am today. And you can't define me by my past. It made me who I am today, but it's not going to define my future. I am taking the appropriate steps of letting go of certain things because I got places to go, people to see, and things to do. And 2022 is waiting for you. So I'm grateful that you chose to spend this time with me. If you caught it live, let me know you're here. I'm not able to see the comments right now, but if you're catching it on the replay, hashtag replay and let me know you caught it later on. Like and share this if it was a benefit to you. Send it to somebody who it could help them with as well, of letting go some things that is holding them back, okay? The art of letting go is very important because there's so much more that you need to take hold to. Wherever you are right now is not your final destination. And it's time to get moving. The locomotive is moving. Let's go or let go, baby. I want to see you make it into great things in 2022. Because I tell you what, there's room for the top for all of us. And I want to see us get there one step at a time. Each one, reach one, teach one. And we're here to inspire and equip you to get there, okay? So tune in every Monday and keep tuned, because we're going to have some new things coming on in 2022 with Boss Lady 101. I'm excited about the stuff that we're going to do. We're going to have some series-based teaching about the successful mindset. There's so much things on the horizon, and so I'm just praying that the Lord will continue to guide me in how I can deliver this content to you. But all you got to do is show up, and I will continue to be here with you every step of the way. I appreciate all of you who are here. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for supporting small businesses. Thank you for those people who know what I do behind the scenes. Thank you for the team that's with me. Thank you for the people that just want to see everybody succeed. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm Coach Sybil Kearse. I was your host for today. Like I said, hopefully this was beneficial to you. And I stayed on a little bit longer than I wanted to. But guess what? It's all good. So much love and success. God bless.